Haley, what did we get today?
A sawmill.
Oh my god. Melt me. What kind of sawmill?
A Woodland Mills
What?
HM130max
Say it
portable
again.
sawmill.
Oh. Load. Yep. There's 8,000. Everything's unboxed. We're going to go ahead and start assembly. What'd they forget, Haley?
They put the reinforcement plate in the wrong box.
Oh my goodness. So, right here, these plates on the end. 2 of them came in the first part of the instruction manual. The other 2 were buried at the bottom of that crate underneath the power head. She's already got her first scratch. So back to it. I think she'll saw. Okay, so recap thus far on the sawmill. It's fully assembled. Got to put some fuel in it now. The main issues we ran into were getting everything square, which just took some shimming and some aligning. The power head over here was a bit of a pain to get on. We ended up using one thick and one thin shim plate on every side of the square. I'll show you here. Those are the shim plates there. They go all around that to center the coupling over top of that shaft, which pushes the arm out to raise and lower the head. Got it all wired up. Didn't come with a battery for $8 grand. You'd think they could front the cost of a $60 battery, but that's okay. We didn't realize, and the manual doesn't really tell you when you have to tighten bolts and loosen bolts. So we put the whole head on and then found out that 2 of the wheels weren't actually touching the frame, so the whole thing was kind of twisted. We ended up loosening all of the bolts on these black plates up there and down there, and then it got set straight on the frame, and then we tightened everything up. Got the lines on for the coolant tank. They say not to run coolant or water for the first 30 minutes until the belts get adjusted or kind of settle in. The axle alignment was a little bit tricky. I luckily had these toe plates over here. You can get them off Summit Racing, but they're just real quick plates. They sit on your tires, and then you pull tape measures through these slots here. So that worked out well. The thing is heavy. We ended up having to drill holes in the frame for these locking pins here to lock it so that whenever you're pulling it, it doesn't slide up and down the rails. But that was really about it. It went together pretty easily. I did all the checks through oil in it. Just got to put some gas in it now, and then we're going to go test it and cut some logs. All hooked up, ready to go. Saw on the back. Let's see what happens. Take this down to pieces also.
I can't see the force off.
Oh, bring the force down. Just going down. Okay. Bring the whole tummy down. That's not still. Come down.
I just like do a little woodburn.
Supports over there. You're not getting too close to the yeah, so if you want to do inch and a half, if you're okay with that, then yeah, go to like right up a little.
So in that last clip, what you saw was us trying to get rid of some of the waviness from the previous cut. We found out that as soon as your blades start going dull, the blade has more of a tendency to want to wander on the board. And you also feel it in the push. It's not going to cut nearly as clean or as smooth. So make sure that you're sharpening your blades periodically. And here's Haley with her finished product, happy as can be. And I figured I'd throw this in the video as well. This is what I used to do before running the sawmill that we got. I had an Alaskan sawmill on a Stihl 066 with a 42-inch bar. This is a 30-inch oak that we were cutting cookies out of. It's just not nearly as fast as the sawmill is, or as clean. These saws do work in a pinch, or if you have a really, really wide tree you got to get through, but overall, from the bulk of the trees that are in Pennsylvania, which is where we are, you're never going to need a sawmill that can do over 3 foot. But it is good to have the option to do either to get you out of a pinch.
What's going on, everyone? We're back here at my hoop building that houses my sawmill, a little lumber yard. I'm going to go ahead and take you in and give you my review. So here she is in her home, Woodland Mills HM130max, cut up to about a 30-inch diameter log, almost 17 feet long. Go ahead and disassemble the locking pins here. Obviously, if it's not level, it's going to roll back. You can kind of use the head as your own leveling guide. I typically eyeball it, which has turned out to be plenty accurate enough. You basically just stand at either end of the sawmill and make micro adjustments until the sled doesn't really move, and then you just kind of roll it to see if it rolls one way quicker than the other. You know that you still have some cranking to do on one side. It should roll about the same speed either direction. I got the model with the adjustable power feed head. That is an absolute must. For the extra couple $100 that it is, it beats the hell out of having to use a hand crank to lift the head up and down. And another thing that I went with is the upgraded 14 horsepower Kohler motor with electric start. I really don't know how you would be able to hand crank this sometimes whenever the head's all the way up, because this guard plate and cable system here covers the whole thing. So I would absolutely get an electric start with it. The total price that I paid for this sawmill was $8,500 shipped to my door. From the time lapse that you saw, it took about 2 days to finish. I was working about 6-hour days, so I'd say 12-14 hours to put it together if you have a couple people. And it's been a great sawmill. As far as any mechanical issues, I was cutting one board that was too short, and I had a janky rig set up to hold that log in place, and the log actually ended up coming loose, and it ripped apart the board and sent it right into this carrier right here and just smashed it. Luckily, the mounting hole for it didn't get bent or anything. So I called Woodland Mills up and ordered another one off them. They had it shipped, I think, the same week it showed up. So I was pretty happy about that. And whenever I did order that, I also ordered, take you over here, a center bunk. So it comes originally with, well, if you get the extended model, you get 7 bunks. I got one more that way, and I got one more center post here. That way I can cut really short pieces of wood, because my girlfriend, she likes taking logs like that, so super short, you know, only 24 inches across, and ripping cookies out of them this way. That way she can use them for wood art and other stuff along the lines of that. You know, like that spalted maple right there. So that center bunk is nice for doing smaller stuff, kind of a specific application, but overall, I mean, it's 18 degrees out right now, and this thing will start up just fine. Flick your key, choke on. It is gold. There you go. She's running. Power feed. It's a very nice option. Got your readout right there for your height. Little battery in there. Hey-o. Again, it's not level at all, so that's why this thing is really moving quick. But yeah, that's about it. Accessibility wise, pop that handle, pop a handle down there, pop one more right here, and the whole thing swings open. You got your tensioners, drive pulley up there, and that's really about it. For blades, I bought a 5-pack. I buy 5 packs at a time. 1 pack of 5 at a time of Woodland Mills, not Woodland Mills, Woodmiser sawmill blades. I think it's like 150, 160 bucks for a pack of 5, which truthfully, I didn't think was that bad. You get a fair amount of cutting out of one blade before it needs sharpened. I have a guy locally who will sharpen the blades for me, so yeah, it works out. Overall, I am very happy with this sawmill. I would highly recommend it to anyone who wants to get into it but doesn't want to spend an arm and a leg on buying the equipment. It beats the hell out of a chainsaw mill. It's way, way quicker. And overall, I have no complaints. I'm not sponsored by Woodland Mills or anything. It's just an honest review. It's a piece of equipment that I like. It's very useful. I have used it, and I do think it'll pay for itself if I continue to use it at the rate I have. So, yeah, I'll see you in the next video.